welcome to the Real MVPs podcast. My name is Jessica. I'm here with my sisters, Christine, aka Steenerbug, Deanna, and Leah. And we are here to just kind of bring you into our lives and just the ish show that they are. And just kind of go over what we like to discuss. This is a little glimpse of our group chat, I guess you could say, or a group text. This week, my children, my two boys, are at Deanna's house, also known as Aunt Danny, for spring break. And it started off very eventful, let's say.
I will have you know, I was on time.
I was tracking you. So
I know.
Okay, my son Caleb, who is 11, has flown by himself to Deanna's house. I live in Idaho. She lives in California. He has flown by himself last year. No hiccups, no problems. This year, my 8-year-old Luke is going with her, and it's been a little like dicey. Not sure if he's going to go last minute. Maybe he's going to want to not like get on that plane. I was preparing myself for a full meltdown at the airport. So for starters, we get to the airport. I realize as we're buying their waters, we have 10 minutes till boarding. Forgot to take that into account. So we like book it to the gate. We're waiting 10 minutes. They're like, okay, let's go. I didn't get to give them a kiss or a hug goodbye. Like it was that fast, which I think actually worked out better because then there wasn't like this dramatic, and people in line are like, oh, how fun. They're going away. And I'm like, I love you. Bye. I look at Kenny and goes, well, that was fast. I'm like, what happened? So
I wasn't going with you.
He got done with golf in time.
Okay.
So I text Deanna. They have boarded. They are getting ready to go. Okay, I'm leaving. I'm on my way. Okay, awesome. For once, she's on time because every time she has to pick me up from the airport and I track her on Life 360, homegirl is leaving her house when I'm texting her, got my bags. Okay, be there in a minute. And I'm like, no, you won't. You're still a half hour away. So she says she's on her way. Great. I'm so happy she's finally on time. Then she texts how long security is. And it's taking forever. Okay, cool. She's going to get there on time.
And mind you, I have TSA pre-check. I never have to go through the security check line. When you do this, you're picking up unaccompanied minors. You have to go through the riffraff.
Yes. So I get a call from Deanna. And I'm thinking, okay, this is not good because I had texted her that the boys were landing early, but I'm like, she's there. She's good. Not a problem. Do you know I'm supposed to have a gate pass? I have to go all the way back and I have to go to the ticket counter and get a gate pass. And I'm like, they land in like 10 minutes. There is no way.
I think that was around the time the Southwest agent called me because I'm the backup. And I'm like, okay, I'm 45 minutes away at least. Like, So I text them in the group chat. I'm like, so Southwest just called me. I wanted to know if I'm coming to pick up the kids because Deanna's not there yet. And she said that you've got plenty of time because they won't be here for 10 minutes. Like, is Deanna within 10 minutes?
Yeah. So needless to say, they had to wait 20 minutes at the gate with the Southwest agent.
That's how long it took for her to get there?
Yes.
I didn't know.
I had to go all the way back to Terminal B, wait behind Arizona State University's women's lacrosse college team while they checked in all their bags, get my gate pass, go back to catch the tram. The tram breaks down. So they're running one tram, get on the tram. I cut in front of the line. And people are looking at me like, I don't care. I'm going to the front of the line. I get to the front of the line and I'm just booking it to gate 17. Thankfully, it wasn't gate 23, which is the very last one at the very end. And they're sitting there doing cartwheels and dancing around. And the lady just looks at me and says, I am so sorry, but security's a nightmare. It's because I heard a tram broke down. I said, yeah. And Caleb's like, she's finally here.
But how did you've picked up Caleb before. How did you not know about the gate pass?
I don't know. Well, I forgot about the gate pass. I don't even remember getting the gate pass last time. And so then I asked Jessica, I'm like, do I need anything? No, your itinerary should be fine.
No.
So I just
said, no. I will reread the text. You said, do I have to print out the itinerary? I said, I didn't. Read it.
Yeah,
Good
that's
time.
good. That's what it says.
Yes.
This would be a good time to point out that Jessica is like the encyclopedia of every conversation. And if you
That's
dare
true.
say that she said something or did not say something, it does not matter how far back. She will sit there until she finds, no, in 2007, it was May 14th. You said this and this, and I responded with this. I mean, it's actually amazing the stuff Jessica pulls out. But
I take screenshots of everything.
I didn't know they called you Steener.
It was in the chat. See, okay. Hello.
I didn't read the chat. I was busy trying to get to them.
what are you talking? Who called me Steener?
She she didn't realize Southwest called you.
Oh, I said that.
Are you kidding me?
That was like the most blonde thing ever.
I didn't know they called you Steener. Like, you literally just said that like 3 minutes ago. Like, is this for the show? Like, yeah, that's a nickname. Okay.
Oh my god.
I didn't know they called you Steener. Yeah, my whole life. Don't
Oh,
get it.
and here's a fun fact that those two are doing. Instead of slug bug, they're doing slug plug.
Yeah.
Every time they see a Tesla.
That's well, we don't have very many here, so we put like slug plug.
And I said, "You're in California. Don't you be punching me every time you see a Tesla?"
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, "Oh, we won't see one." The entire ride home was slug plug, and then they're arguing over how many slug plugs. And I'm thinking, this is really,
And
really
Luke keeps track. So when you get out of the car, then he punches me however many times he was supposed to punch me in the car. It's
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fun.
We find in a different game.
Then I asked, okay, so what do you guys want for dinner? Fish. We want fresh fish. Where am I getting fresh fish?
I think they come to your house and they like have this sophisticated palate. When they're at home, they eat what, Dr. Pepper and goldfish.
Ramen.
We like to have tuna steak. We have tuna
Now
steak
they're
and sea bass.
Okay, I said, well, I'm not. What about? Caleb goes, okay, well, sushi. And by this time, we've picked up Charlie. Yeah, let's go to Makuni. No, I'm not taking you guys to Makuni's.
We went to sushi last night after we dropped him off at the airport. So
Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties here.
I didn't, but Kenneth does not know about the drama because he was already stressing. He said he was going to text Deanna and let her know that these are his babies. He told Luke, he's like, if you want to come home, I will hop in the car. I will be there and I'll get you. What? Okay. And so he's like, I was texting Deanna. Like, please don't. Not right now.
He wasn't texting me back because I was texting him about Rory and Bryson DeChambeau because I like to get him all riled up over that.
Wait, who's gonna win? Do you think?
Rory's in the lead, big time.
Bryson's falling apart right now.
Rory's like 4 up.
I want
Well,
Bryson.
Rory freaking sucked on the first hole, which would be my luck.
Flubbed it.
I know, but then they were tied, and then Bryson's just fallen apart.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Like the pressure's gotten to him.
I had to cut my hair, so I had to excuse myself from the golf festivities. And then he kept rewinding it. And I'm like, I've seen this. I don't need to watch this again.
So I gave myself a concussion on Wednesday. I don't know if anybody is aware of that. So
What?
I'm still suffering from it.
A real life concussion. She got a real life concussion.
Real concussion. And my head is literally, I'm like in so much pain right now. So I put stuff on the stairs to take up, and the boys' friends came over and asked if they were available to play. So I'm like, oh yeah, let's go upstairs and get them. So I bent down to grab the stuff off the stairs, and when I stood up, the point, you know how my stairs go like this? I nailed my head on the corner of the handrail, and I had a big old knot, and all of a sudden then my ears, like they felt like they needed to pop. Like it was like my whole head just completely got clogged. I'm sitting, and so I go upstairs and I get the boys and I go sit on my bed and I start crying because I'm like, I am in so much pain and I'm feeling for blood. And I'm like, I mean, it hurt. So Kenny calls me. He's like, where did you go? Like, you left? I'm like, I'm upstairs. He's like, what's wrong? I'm like, nothing. I'm fine. So he comes in. Why are you crying? I'm like, I hit my head on the stair rail. Now my ears, I can't hear. And he's like, you have a concussion. You have given yourself a concussion. I'm like, I've never had one before. I don't know what to do. So he's like, well, you can't go to sleep. I'm like, but I'm so tired. He's like, no, you can't go to sleep. So then he wakes me up.
I think that's a myth.
Well, I don't know. He wouldn't let me go to sleep. So then, he starts bleeding, and I'm on blood thinners because of my blood clots. And so now he says I have to go to the emergency room because they say if you're on blood thinners and something like this happens, you need to go get an MRI or whatever they're called. I'm sorry, I have not met my deductible. I am not going to the ER to have my head checked. So he wakes me up, so I go to sleep. I'm like, peace out, take my gummy. I'm fine. I don't have any other symptoms. I don't even know what symptoms are for a concussion, but I'm telling him I don't have them. He wakes me up at 5 a.m. I'm really concerned. I think you need to go to the hospital. I'm like, my alarm's going to go off in 15 minutes. You couldn't have waited 15 minutes to tell me this information? I'm like, I'm fine. If I get any other symptoms. He's like, what other symptoms? I'm like, I don't know. I figure like vomiting. I don't know. I don't know what happens when you have a concussion. At any rate, my head has been, it is a nightmare. So Georgina's coming tomorrow and hopefully, because it like jammed my neck. I mean, I don't know how hard, yeah. And these poor kids that watched the whole thing happen. I mean, I must have really.
I'm still confused about where you did this at.
When I'm there next week, I will reenact it and I will record. And I will share it on next week's podcast.
It hurt. And so then so afterwards I take my shower because I'm not allowed to go to sleep. So I thought, okay, I'll take my shower. Being the smart person I am, take my brush and brush my hair. And I go, ah! Kitty's like, what? I'm like, I brushed my head. He's like, I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean,
your shower, did he take his shower?
What do you guys say if you're going to go take a shower? Like, tell me.
I'm going to go take a shower.
Leah?
I'm going to go take a shower.
Can you specify whose shower you're taking? Are you taking your shower? Are you taking my shower?
I say I'm going to go take my shower. Heaven forbid.
No, it's not just that. I'm going to go take my shower. Well, I took my shower, and then once I got out of my shower, I realized, like, she's just so, it is like her. Like, boys took their shower, I had Kenny take his shower, I took my shower, there's no more hot water. Like, why are we, like, classifying a possession to everybody's
I figured it out. It's because Mom the other day was talking, and she goes, my pan's too hot. I can't use my pan right now. I'm going to set it aside. And I think when we're talking, we specify, like, this is mine, this is yours. I think that's what it's from.
It's a shower. You're taking someone else's shower? Shoot, Mom, I just took your shower instead of mine. Now I got a shower.
Have you ever noticed those siblings that talk and they're like, my mom, when they're talking to each other, they make the mom their personal.
Well, Jesse used to do that.
Excuse me, because, it's a little tricky with the whole sibling setup we got here. My mom, my dad, like, it's hard to keep track.
It is. Well, because you know why? I don't like when I'm talking to, like, any random person, they go, well, Mom's back in the hospital. That is not my mom. It's not our mom. That is your mom. Say your mom.
Okay, for example, our mother, when she's talking about her dad, she just says dad. But then when she's also talking about my dad, she says dad. So she's telling a story. I go, well, who's dad? Your dad or my dad?
I know.
Your dad. I go, well, you call Grandpa just straight up dad. So how do I know? Like, I don't know which is which.
I don't like that. I don't like when people go, yeah, Mom's in the hospital. Like, it's your mom. Just say my mom.
I'm the same way. And I don't like to Kenny. I say my mom. I don't say mom's upstairs.
Yeah.
My mom's upstairs.
Here it is. Deanna, does Chip say mom?
No, he says my mom, my dad.
Deanna says mom, though, when she talks to Chip. And we pointed it out to her. We pointed it out to her. And she said, no, you don't. Chip goes, dear, yes, you do. And she's like,
not often. I don't do it often.
But you do it.
I don't.
Do you say that?
Who, me?
Here.
I say my mom when I'm talking to Kirk. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Kirk
I'm glad Leah's paying attention.
Are you paying attention here? Like, we're in the middle of something.
I got got lost for a little bit, and so I was just smiling and going along with it.
Are we muted? Can you hear us?
I got lost in what you guys were talking about, so I was just like, okay.
We could tell. You didn't hide it very well.
Question. We went to the movies last night. Okay, it was this whole thing. So we decided we're gonna go to the movies, and it says IMAX 8:45, and I'm like, that's a little late, but okay. But it doesn't say that the seats recline. So then at 9:55, the seats recline. So I was gonna book those ones. Well, Kelly goes in, books the tickets, whatever. We get to the theater. We sit in our seats. The seats don't recline, and he's like, these have to recline. These have to recline. Where's the button? And he looks over at me with this look of disgust. He's like, are you telling me that these seats don't recline? I was like, yeah, that's what I was telling you at home. I was telling you here. And he goes, I can't do this. I can't do this. And so he's like, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go find a different movie to watch. Okay, I feel like a fugitive. I feel like I'm not cut out for this fast, serious life. So we go into the end of this other movie. We have no idea what's going on. I think it's stupid. Anyways, we watched 40 minutes of it. It ends, and we're walking out. He goes, I feel like we missed a lot of that movie. Well, yeah, because we walked in halfway. So then we go back to the later movie, the 9:55. That reclines. Okay, cool. We're set. Halfway through, he goes, hey, you know that banana pudding that you made? I go, yeah. He goes, I really want some right now. And I was like, okay, let's leave. And he's like, this is a really good movie. And I was like, okay, by this time it's 11, and I'm not cut out for that late. I was like, I'm fine, I don't care. Well, no, we want to stay. If you're liking this movie, you can stay. I don't care at this point. So we end up leaving. We go home so he can eat banana pudding. And then he's like, that was a really good movie. We should go back and watch it again. No. Well, we are famous. I feel like we're at the movie theater. I had to go pee 3 times. It was we got there at 8:30 and we left at 11:30. I was like, I feel like we've been at this theater for forever.
Kenny doesn't so he goes, because he figures there's 15 minutes of attractions. So if the movie starts at 5:30, he doesn't get to the house till 5:30. And then rolls in and he's like, why? The seats are already you already select them ahead of time, so what does it matter? Well, we don't have time to go get candy or get a soda. Are you kidding me?
I like this
Crazy. Huh?
You don't stop at the store and buy that stuff? You buy it at the theater?
Yeah. So $600 later.
Oh, I don't do that. I make my kids go to CVS. You can get candy. You can get McDonald's if you want. I don't care. That's why I have a big purse. I mean, I've taken in some crazy stuff. I've taken in Toto.
Well, I don't ever really take them to the movies that often. This is a rare occasion. Kenny usually takes them, but I think he buys them the stuff there.
I bought, when Andrew went when he was little, and I bought candy for him to take beforehand, and I gave it to Chip, and I said, here, I went to Dollar Store or something, and Andrew, because he likes those, I don't know, Nestle something, I can't remember. Anyway, and he was little. No, Daddy, that's cheating. We're not allowed to bring in our own food. And Chip's like, no, we can't, rule follower Chip. And Andrew's like, no, they have their food. They sell us. We cannot cheat and bring in our own food. You can't do that. No, I will. And then he wouldn't let him do it. I'm like, I got all this candy and you had to buy candy at the concession. He's like, Andrew would not do it.
That sounds about right. That sounds like Andrew.
Candy Andrew watched.
Deep down inside.
I like your other two.
Yeah, my other two were selling candy out of the back of their car before.
They were their camcorder, recording it and putting it on the internet.
A bootleg version.
Yeah, they were the
exactly. Well, when Zach was it a junior high or high school? He took all of our DVDs and rented them out at school.
He rented out mine.
And then we'd go to Costco and they were all of a sudden into candy. And I'm like, oh, okay, finally. No, they were taking the candy that I was buying at Costco and they were renting out the DVDs and selling candy. I had no idea.
Yeah. They used to come to folks. I was
That's
missing the
awesome.
DVDs, and I asked them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll get them back by Thursday." I'm like, "What? We're gonna get them back by Thursday?" He's like, "Some of our friends have them." I'm like, "Whoa, wait a minute."
Oh, that's awesome. I've not heard that.
I mean,
Yeah.
if they could just handle that for good legal stuff, it would be great.
Exactly. Sheesh.
Well, Steener's coming up on Thursday.
Wednesday.
No, I'm going separately from.
Oh, you're not going with me? Oh, so then I have to take all three to the airport?
Well, I was gonna go, so I can meet you there.
Yeah, because how did you set up the ticket? Did you set it up as me dropping her off?
No, I have it to where I'm dropping her off.
Okay.
I'm gonna go and say
Who
goodbye
was
to all
who
that.
was your backup, Christine?
Pick her up,
You have to do a backup of dropping her off and picking her up.
Mom. And she's all, "Why are you saying Grandma Terry? She can't drive." I was all, "Grandma Terry can drive." She's all, "Nope, Luke and Caleb said she can't."
She had to take leave to the airport because I wasn't able to, so she had to take him when he was visiting. Michelle had to change it and everything. It was pretty comical.
Peter, can you see if she could kind of come early? Because they really want her here.
Well, you mean earlier than Monday?
Well, no, I mean, however early she could get here on Monday.
Oh, well, she's already set it all up, so I'll have to check with her. I said, hey, can someone take you to Aunt Danny's house? Okay, so context, my kid's at her dad's house this week, but the cousins are all at Aunt Danny's. So I get McKenna back on Monday when she's on spring break. And instead of coming home, she's going to go to Aunt Danny's and do whatever they do. She's not allowed to stay up all night.
Okay, good luck.
Well, neither are my kids.
And she's not allowed to eat junk food all day.
Okay, well, that's why they come to Aunt Danny's.
Yeah.
So, because there's no rules.
Hey, we need Leah to focus. Leah's typing or something. You need to
Work.
stop Leah.
Well, the HOA is finally going to enforce the actual rules and bylaws that are on the books. So everybody has until April 27th to comply,
Wait,
or they're going to start getting ticketed.
Doesn't that screw you over?
No, we're fine. We have one car.
Yeah, but does it have to be in the garage?
No, when COVID hit, they amended the bylaws. So if you have, you could either do garage or driveway.
I'd like to point out that I didn't realize how much of Karen's you and Leah were. Last week, her calling on Papa. You
know what? I only become a Karen when I start getting the letters. And then I'm like, oh, it's on. It is on.
You're gonna old age.
Yeah.
I literally, I think that was probably the most shocked I've ever been when Leah's like, "Another taco shop. I'm calling this." Like, I gotta call the city 3 times and they keep moving locations. And I was like, I'm driving and I'm like, wait, like, you actually called the city? And she goes, "Oh yeah, I'm coming." And she was on rant. And in the meantime, I like passed the street I'm supposed to turn on because I'm like,
drives me crazy. It drives me crazy. I don't understand why. I don't understand why things bother me now the way they do when my whole life they've never bothered me before.
I bet you if I were in the car and she were driving, she would have pulled over. She would have asked to see their permits.
We've stopped and watched.
Leah.
She says me. I was not included. That had to be her and someone else because I wouldn't have done it. I mean, it was shocking. I guess I just don't have like the zest for.
I could see her and Kirk doing a stakeout, actually. And I could see Kirk just being like, "Oh, you see that? You see that? Did you see that percent just went in there? Yeah. Did you get it?" I mean, could you not?
And then following them home.
Yeah.
$5. Go buy something if they charge you tax because then we can report them for tax.
Totally. all kinds of violations. I'm sorry, but there are hardworking businesses that have to follow all the rules, pay all the fees, do all the licenses, and then these guys just do pop-ups and they don't have to do any of that, and that's not fair. It's not fair, and that's not fair. It's not how we're built, and I don't think that we should be allowed to make exceptions. So
This
we're
is
gonna nip it in the bud.
Mayor 2026. Fix the problem.
I'll be mayor of my street.
I felt like Deanna. I almost ran for a position on the HOA board when it came up.
Well, yeah, they called out your kids. They see when they call you out and they call out your kids, you get pissed.
I'd like to point out the 2 new HOA board members were like, hey, they're not tearing anything up. We don't got a problem with them. Let them be kids. We have a cop that lives one house over. So he jokes with Caleb. He's like, because Caleb was telling his friend's dad about it. And the dad's like, you don't go fast through here. He's like, the only thing would be you don't have a helmet on, which there's no rule here in this state that you have to wear a helmet. So you're not breaking any laws. Like, these people need to calm down. So the cop was talking to him and he goes, hey, son, let me see your license and registration. And Caleb goes, hey, look. And the cop turns around and Caleb takes off running. And the cop thought that was hilarious. And he's like, look, bud, you're not breaking any laws. Just have fun, be careful, and don't get hurt. I mean, it was like everybody else is like, let them be kids. And then you've got the old retired folks that think we live in a senior citizen community.
Right.
And I'm just like, So the lady who did it, she's not responded. I'm still responding to people because they're like, oh, I see some kids over here. I'm like, first of all, my kids aren't even allowed to cross over this street. And I know because I see the teenager kids that they're talking about on the other development is who they're all talking about. And I'm like, those aren't my kids. And some lady responded, Jessica, you are so awesome. You just keep doing what you're doing. And I'm just like, I'm just trying to, I mean, we are the most, we don't wave to people. We don't talk to people. We are the most, like, leave us alone in our little bubble type people. But my kids know it.
Has it crossed your mind that they could be actually talking about other people's kids? And like, now you're just so defensive. You're like, like, my kids don't even go to that city. It's like, well, they're not
tagging me in the comment. They're tagging me saying, Jessica, I saw kids doing this, or I saw kids on all blacked out e-bikes. Okay, well, my kids have all blacked out e-bikes. And so I'm like, my kids are freaking 8 and 11. The kids you're talking about, I've been seeing, they're teenagers, and yeah, they are ruined, because this is their complaint. If they're tearing up the grass, breaking the sprinklers, then the HOA has to cover those. Oh, I get that. First of all, my kids' bikes aren't strong enough to even tear up the grass. Like, I mean, I don't know. My kids know everybody. Huh?
Talk about passionate.
What? Don't come for my kid. Like, I'll punch a hoe. Like, come on, bring it. You want to talk about my kids? I got no shame in my kids. I'm like, meet me somewhere. You want to talk about it? Let's go. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not, don't mess with my kids. And Steener knows an ex-spouse. You don't talk about my husband. Or you're dead to me. Remember that whole conversation? Remember, you and I didn't talk for like 6 months.
I thought it was longer.
It was longer.
I missed.
It was like a year.
I missed everything with McKenna. I didn't get invited to the baby shower. I didn't get all that because that stupid person.
Anyways,
yeah.
Okay, so I have a question for you guys because I have a funny answer to this for my own self. So you guys think about it. What is the most random compliment you've ever been given from someone? Okay, so here's mine while you guys think. I'm at the airport. I think I'm actually flying up to your house, Jessica. And I don't ever talk to anyone when I'm at the airport. I just sit and do my own thing, right? Somehow I get wrangled into a conversation with some guy and a married couple next to him, an older couple. And they're just talking and they keep bringing me in and so I'm being nice and I'm engaging. And she goes, you look just like, and I can't remember the lady's name, so I'm just going to say Sally. You look just like our friend Sally. And I go, oh, okay. And she's like, doesn't she look just like Sally? And her husband's like, yeah, I can kind of see it. I'm like, oh, so she whips her phone out to show me a picture of Sally. Sally is about 82 years old, full on wrinkles, gray hair, and I'm going, and she's like, don't you see the resemblance? And I'm like, no, I don't. Sally is not a long lost sister. I was mortified for a good while. That one.
Remember that? And that really took a tone on, because didn't you like buy skincare stuff?
I'm
like,
sure I did.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Your hair done?
Yeah. I think I washed my hair finally.
Yeah. She bought a lot of skincare stuff, and then she was looking at different treatments.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Is that when you learned how to do your hair?
Is that what?
When you learned how to do your hair?
No, that I had done my hair that day. So Sally and I both had curly hair.
Remember when you got it dialed in, like when you wear the bonnet? Was that before or after that phase?
It was after that. I was doing my hair. Yeah.
That is hilarious. I don't ever. Everybody always either compliments me on my sweatshirts because I wear certain like political type sweatshirts, or my hair every day. Kenny, he says it's annoying because literally I get 10 compliments on my hair while we're out, and he says he's just over it. That's about it. Other than Caleb telling me he loves my big huge butt in the bathroom at Walmart, I don't really have too many other compliments.
This one lady was like, "You just have the most gorgeous teeth," and I was like, "Oh, thanks," And she goes, "How much did you pay for those?" No, well, these are my teeth. And she goes, "No, really, like those can't be your teeth." I was like, "These are my teeth," and she goes, "How much were they?" And then she asks how much my hair was. I'm like, I don't have hair extensions. I don't have fake teeth. These are my actual teeth.
Those are the two things that you haven't touched yet. Just kidding.
Darling.
But it's true. Those are literally two things she has not touched.
Oh, asked me the other day, she goes, "Have you ever gotten surgery on your face?" I was like, "No." And she goes, "I feel like you have." And I was like, "No, trust me, I know." And she's like, "What was the thing when you came home and remember you had all the little spots with blood all over?" And I was like, "Oh, Botox, that doesn't count." She goes, "Okay." But then remember that one time you came and your lips were all bruised? I was like, "That was lip filler. That doesn't count. That's not surgery." And she goes, "Oh, well, that's what I meant." It's like, no, I've never had surgery on my face. Botox and filler don't count.
I need Botox, and I want to get my lips done, but I don't.
Well, why don't you?
I don't want to spend the money.
Oh,
Because remember, she's on a budget. How many times did you DoorDash this week?
Oh my gosh, I have a funny story. So, day before yesterday, so Kenny and I had this whole conversation about no longer DoorDashing. So day before yesterday, he tells the boys, after dinner, let's go get milkshakes. So we're all sitting, that we have our dinner and everything, and he's like, okay, let's just DoorDash it. I'm like, no, we're not DoorDashing. We're gonna go get it. So we all go. We go to Baskin Robbins. They get dessert. I didn't get anything. We come home. I'm like, okay, see, that wasn't bad. So last night, we don't have the kids. We're watching old episodes of Top Chef. He's hungry. At 10 o'clock, he DoorDashes Applebee's. And it arrives at 11. And he eats his ribs, French fries, and onion rings while watching Top Chef that he DoorDashed.
Was it 11 o'clock?
Yes.
At night?
Yeah, that's when it finally got.
I was at Jack in the Box at 11 after our 1:30 after our movie. Wait, does he eat that in bed though?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
I had a couple fries, and then I had 1.5 onion rings, and that was it. I'm not a huge rib person, and then the smell, I was just ugh, yeah.
Do you guys eat in bed? I don't eat in bed.
Kenny does. You guys know I have to eat at a table.
Yeah. I find eating in bed just such a weird concept. Like,
Yeah.
I would not eat in bed.
No, occasionally, if it's like a weekend and I don't want to do anything, I may eat my breakfast in bed, but I like a table. So I have to have a table. I don't
In the same spot with the fork with the rose on it. We know.
You know what? I want that fork with the rose on it. I don't know where that's at.
With the same glass, with our giant ass glass of milk, no matter what we're eating. You're kind of Rain Man. Like for fun, we should have you sit on the couch and eat. Like, oh.
No. I hate that.
Why do you have to have a table? Why do you think you have to have a table?
I don't like holding my plate. I will spill it. I can't. I mean, I feel like that's what it feels like. I mean, you have some civilization. You set it down. You got your drink. You got your napkin. Put your napkin in your lap, and you eat. I don't understand this holding it. I don't get it.
We were raised to eat dinner on the couch. Like we were born and bred to eat dinner on the couch.
Mom eats on the couch. She does not sit at the table. We have plenty of room. She does not. She either eats in a room or she sits at the couch. And when I have my in-laws over, my mother-in-law always says, Terry's in her spot, because we all sit at the table together. She goes, well, Terry's in her spot on the couch. And Mom, yes, I am. She's not budging. Does not matter.
I don't remember eating on the couch growing up.
Are you kidding me? Mom with her cottage cheese and peaches sitting on the couch watching The Price is Right?
But like a meal. I don't remember us eating dinners at the couch.
You sat at a table?
Yeah.
I did, but I was usually by myself.
I do not remember a scenario where we ever sat at the table.
But we never sat down as like a family.
No.
So, but yeah, Mom and Dad would sit in front of the TV and eat dinner. Dad would come home and they would sit and go eat. They never sat at a table.
Do you think it's important to sit down and eat as a family?
What?
Do you think it's important to sit down at the table and eat as a family?
I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're not going to have electronics, but we all have our electronics sitting. We're all at the same table with everybody has a different electronic on, and the TV's on.
I think it depends on the season that you're in life. Like, you know, I work remote, my husband works remote, and my son does online school, so we're together all day long, and I don't feel like it's important that we sit down and have a meal together because we're already together. But I can see when the kids are off and the husband's off and everybody's doing their own thing, I can see how that would be a good time of, not that we were great at it, but that would be a good time to sit down and have dinner together. So
that's shocking. I picture you guys eating dinner at the table every night, Leah.
No, I eat on the couch a lot.
Oh, see, no.
We don't even have a table.
Dining room table, not behind the couch anymore?
No. She hasn't had that table in forever.
Where do you sit? Well, you guys can sit. Well, you the little bar thing in the kitchen island.
That seats two.
Oh.
So I go sit in the couch while the boys eat there.
Deanna, where do you guys sit when you eat dinner?
Couch, and he has his chair. I've noticed that Jess sits at the table. She's you. She eats at the table.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It drives me bananas not having.
We sit on the couch and eat.
So, Deanna, when you have all the kids over, that Jess sits at the table?
Yeah, but we'll usually when everybody's over, we'll do at the table.
Oh.
But if we're not, if we're like in and out or whatever, she'll sit at the table.
And for everybody wondering, I'm not Jess. It's Deanna's daughter-in-law. Or
yeah.
So there's two of us. And good for her. I'm proud of her. Next time she and I will be at the table together. I don't know. Where do you put everything? What if you have
I have the coffee table.
How do you cut your meat?
Well, on your lap or on the table. Like I have those little tables that slide under the couch and like hangs over. Best invention ever.
We had everybody over. Why didn't I sit at the table with Kenny? He said, come sit next to me on the couch. And I looked at him. He goes, you can use the coffee table. And I'm just like, so I sit down on the coffee. I'm like, you're hunched over. It just was not a great experience. I like a table.
We just all have our set spots. And this is where you sit. This is where I sit. This is the table you use. This is what I use. It's like just this whole system. It's not that hard.
Oh, we're getting 2 brand new dining room chairs. The boys, so we have casters on our chairs. We just got these chairs in October, but you can't, they like to lean in them. So they've already broken them. So they're still under warranty. They're just sending me 2 new chairs. They're like, you can just keep those ones, do what you want. You can use them with wheels or without. So now I've got 2 chairs. I took the casters off. They're heavy. But I'm like, these would be cool, like upstairs, like in front of the stair rail, like as a little seating area. So I got 2 extra chairs.
You can also just replace the casters if you ever wanted just extra chairs.
They broke the part that it screws into is now inside the chair. So you
I'm
can.
pretty sure, like, who I'm married to would figure out a way to reattach casters, come hell or high water.
Your spiritual husband needs to fix the guitar.
Do you really want?
I'm over the guitar.
But why do you want it fixed then?
What?
Why do you want the guitar fixed if you're already over it?
Because that's all he talks about is how Uncle Kelly is supposed to fix the guitar.
Well, I was thinking I could maybe, I don't know if he's coming with me tomorrow, but if he doesn't, I will bring the guitar home, bring it back on Tuesday.
Yeah, he asked me, he's like, did Uncle Kelly fix the guitar? I'm like, if I had to guess, I'm going to say no. But it's possible. Caleb plays the guitar and he's left-handed. So the guitar that Aunt Leah gifted him is a right-handed guitar. So it has to be strung. You have to turn it upside down and restring it so it works for left-handed.
Kelly said he needs to get over that and he needs to play right-handed.
No, he's left-handed. He can play left-handed
too, but he plays the guitar right. He said you just don't play the guitar left-handed. You just don't do it.
Well, Jimi Hendrix did, and that's his idol right now. Everything is Jimi Hendrix this, Jimi Hendrix that.
Yes. How does he know so much about Jimmy? Okay, talking on the way home from the airport yesterday, talk about his hero, Jimi Hendrix.
Which one?
What?
Caleb or Luke?
Caleb.
Okay.
And I said, how did he die? And he goes, oh, a drug overdose. And I said, oh, what was his drug of choice? I don't know, heroin, cocaine, all of them, but not marijuana. Marijuana just gets you high. It doesn't make you die. And I'm like, how do we know all this? He goes, he actually vomited and aspirated in his sleep and choked on his own throw up. You were 10.
He's 11. Oh no.
He's turning 11.
You said that earlier, and I was like, he's not 11. Why is she?
He'll be 11 in less than a month.
Like, when I was 10, I'm pretty sure I didn't know about Jimi Hendrix. Then he goes on to say, did you know that he was in the military? Which I did not know he was in the military. He's like, yeah, fun fact, he was in the military. Can you name any relatives that were in the military? And I said, yeah. And I named LP, and then my grandpa was in the military. You have another one. And I said, okay, who? Uncle Danny. I'm like, oh, brother, you've been talking to grandma. And I said, Uncle Danny was in the military. He goes, yeah. And I'm like, Uncle Danny? And he goes, yeah. The same time grandpa was. I'm like, no, there's no way. There's no way Uncle Danny was in at the same time. And he goes, well, maybe that's not his name. And he goes, grandma's sister's husband. Oh, Uncle Al. Yes, that's right. Uncle Al was in the military. That's all. That's all that was in the military. Fun fact.
Wasn't Uncle Bonnie in the military?
Yeah, because remember, he showed me his uniform. He's like, that's where I got shot. And I was like, whoa. And then Dad's like, a moth ate a hole in it. He did not get shot. And you wouldn't even be wearing these on. These are like your dress greens. You don't wear these to fight wars. I was like, good point.
My kids are major researchers. If they get into something, they will sit there and research till they can't find any more information. Ask them about Kurt Cobain. They can tell you everything about Kurt Cobain. He can't figure out how he shot himself with the shotgun. He thinks that Courtney Love did it. I'm like, I agree with you actually on that. Because the door was locked from the outside. He goes, yeah, I read that.
That's scary.
And have they started researching like what prisons they want to go to?
They don't do illegal activity.
Yeah, that we know of.
No, they don't. Don't speak that over.
Because you know what? Because they wander the house in the middle of the night. I went to bed at 10. I went and checked them. Like, Caleb was out like a light. Charlie and Luke were on their iPads. I'm like, okay, you guys got 10 minutes. Okay. 1:30 in the morning. They're running up and down the stairs. All three of them. And I'm like, what are you doing? So I go in there and I said, what are you doing? Nothing. I said, well, you're clearly doing something. You're up and down the stairs. We were hungry. Of course you were hungry. Dinner number 5. And so then 5 a.m. I hear them. And I told Chip, I said, I don't know what to do. He goes, just let him. There's nothing we can do. We've lost control at this point. And I said, and then I said, well, do I go wake them up when we get up? He goes, oh, heck no. They're sleeping.
So they're not supposed to have their electronics after 8:30. We have a station where they all go plugged in So I will have a talk with you if you want them off their electronics by 8:30.
I don't care about me and McKenna were in Idaho, and the boys were being naughty. I don't remember the circumstances, but they got grounded for everything. Everything. So McKenna comes in, and I go, well, what are you doing? Oh, we're just trying to find something to do. I'm like, where's your iPad? She goes, Aunt Jessie took it. And I was like, what? And she goes, she came in and told us we had to put all of our electronics on her bed. If she goes in there and there is not an electronic on her bed, she will find it and we'll never get it again. And she's like, McKenna's like, I just went right in and put all my stuff right on the bed. So I'm like, okay. So then Jessica comes in and goes, yeah, I was busting up when I came out of my bathroom and see McKenna's iPad right there. He was grounded. It's like, well,
I wasn't talking to McKenna. I was talking to the boys, but McKenna's man, hers was the first one on my bed. I was like, she doesn't have to give it up. And she was like, it's fine. I'm like, poor McKenna.
I don't know if I can even take it home. Like, for life, like you can take it home. I don't even know why you'd be grounded, but she was okay. Well, Aunt Jessie was pretty bad. Well, of course. Like the rules.
I want to know why. I mean, I remember as a kid, mom. I wasn't as afraid of. You could get away with a lot from mom, as Christine knows. Dad, I was terrified of. Like there was no like if he said something, that was it. I didn't question it. I didn't nothing. He's like, well, on some things. There were some things that I did that he said not to do, but for the most part. My kids don't have that fear. They're more afraid of me, I think, than Kenny, because Kenny's not a real big disciplinarian.
And you are the disciplinarian?
Ask my kids, Deanna. Ask my kids. I'm the meanest woman on this side of the Mississippi, according to my kids. It's amazing. I'm like, you don't even know.
Yet they're not afraid of you.
I know. Why is that?
How mean are you really if they're not afraid of you?
I don't know. But they say I'm super strict. They say I'm strict. I don't feel like I am.
No.
I think they're playing you. I think your children are con artists and they are giving you this complex so that you back off because you're like, they have said I've been being pretty mean. It's a psychological.
I mean, that doesn't work. And see, I'm very consistent. I'm consistent. Like, if they are grounded from something, they're grounded. Like, if it's a week, they're grounded a week. There is no getting it early. Like, I used to go to mom and be like, I paid my debt to society, please. And she's like, absolutely not. I'm the same way. Like, they don't get it early. But I can't figure it out.
So much.
What?
You let them do so much that they're like, she doesn't care. What is she?
I don't think I let them do a whole lot.
I know you don't. That's what some people might identify as the problem of the situation. It's not really a rule, if you will, if I may.
They have rules.
What time do they have to get up in the morning?
They don't have rules.
School days. What time do they have to get up on school days?
There's no
rules.
They
have to, when they get up in the morning, they have to brush their teeth and make their bed.
At what time?
This isn't necessarily a set time that they have to wake up.
Or go to bed. Or go to bed.
They are supposed to go to bed at a certain time. Here's my problem. I'm asleep. What do I do?
Caleb, the night before Caleb came to my house, he went to bed at 5 a.m.
I'm aware. He told me that. I understand. But do I pull a mommy dearest and strap them to their bed like she did Christopher? Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here.
You wake them up at 6:30 or 6:45 every morning and you say, get up and go to school. And they're going to go, I'm tired. And you go, yeah, well, this is why we don't go to bed at 5 a.m. because now you only slept for an hour.
I do wake them up early. They get up at like 8 if they've gone to bed late.
That's fake news.
Mm-hmm.
False.
No.
Chloe was FaceTiming you one day and it was like 11 and you walk in your room and Caleb's and this was a school day. And Caleb's in your bed with the iPad at 11. Oh
yeah, I had
to be in school.
I had not implemented the 8:30 no electronics rule at that time. It was implemented.
Yeah. And I have to point out, I'm still baffled by take myself back to that age, and no, never ever would I have done this. But at 8 and 10 years old, to leave the house at midnight and go to the park, never would I have done that. Ever.
Yeah. Now they got in trouble on that. Like they really did. They lost everything on that one. They know now not to do that. And what was more concerning is that there were teenagers at the park. Now, for context, the park is literally on the other side of our fence. It is it's not like they went into. It's literally right there.
Oh, well, in that case,
However,
in that case, why make the rule? Why? Why
however,
can't
I
we
do agree that at midnight they should not be there. And I did not appreciate them talking to the teenagers that were at the park at midnight. So yes, that didn't go over well. But I was sneaking out. I was stealing Deanna's car when I was 12, 13 years old. And the only reason she found out is because I didn't put gas in it. And she gets in, she's like, I think I have a leak in my gas tank. And I'm like, crap, I forgot to put gas in her car.
Well, then I guess you can't wonder where your boys get it from then.
Well, look at their
Well, they're ish out of luck between between her and Kenny.
Maybe it'll be the opposite effect. Maybe they'll just be on the complete straight and narrow and not veer.
Not for Luke. I could see Luke like enrolling himself in college next year and becoming like a computer code
Ask
person.
what they want to be. They want to be, what is it on
No, I did ask. Caleb wants to be Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, well, he used to be an astrophysicist. Luke is so excited to go to college. He wants to be the first one to graduate college from that side of the family. So he's super stoked. Caleb's not sure what he's going to do.
Caleb has said he's going to school in high school, regular school.
Yes, he wants to go to regular high school. Oh, Caleb wants to be a pro golfer and in a band, guitarist in a band. Those are his two things right now. So, he used to be an astrophysicist.
Does he know what that is?
Yes, he does. And he can tell you all about it. And I'm sitting there like, let's come up with a plan B.
I like wonder if you're part of the problem. I wonder if he's like, I would have been an astrophysicist, and you're like, why don't you join a band? He's we could get backstage. Yeah, don't do that. What if you're that? What are we even going to do? There's no perks.
Shut up. I stand. If you wanted to do it, that's fine. But don't. I mean, come up. You gotta have a couple backup plans. Pro golfer, that's a good one. He's really good at golf. I'm okay with that. Plus, I could go.
Do you think there's more potential for him to be a pro golfer than an astrophysicist?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Why? He's smart enough to be an astrophysicist.
Oh, totally could be an astrophysicist, but he's not that nerdy. I think he would
Just
be a nerd.
on episode 12 of Full Swing, that's what this is. Jessica's thinking, wait a minute, I can meet Tiger Woods, I can meet Bryson DeChambeau, I can meet whoever else her crush is at the time. That's what Jessica's thinking. You know, if you're
DeChambeau is dropped to 5th, by the way.
Wait, what?
DeChambeau's dropped to 5th.
Didn't he win
That's what
win
looking
something
at
recently?
I don't know.
Didn't Chambeau win the last big event or something?
He's on Live. He's not on the PGA Tour anymore. He plays.
Rory did. Rory won the Players.
Who won the green jacket one?
Well, that's today.
Oh, who won it last year?
Scheffler.
Oh, I knew it was a funny name. Is that the one that was arrested?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen all the memes for the shares? They're pretty good. Barreling through. No, I mean, yeah, there would be perks of him being a pro golfer and in a band that I'm all here for. But, you know, if he wanted to be an astrophysicist, I'm okay with that too. It's not as fun, but I stand behind.
Now, when Luke decides, does he have a corporation yet, or is he not established? I just see him being like, I have an LLC, and I've been filing taxes for the last 2 years.
Oh, probably. Luke is. It's so funny. It reminds me of Deanna's voice. Caleb is in the moment. He does not think about the outcome. He's like, I want to do this. I'm going to do it now. And Luke's.
I've got money burning a hole in my pocket. He is Zachary to a T.
To a T. And then you have Luke, who saves his money. He thinks about it. It's like, well, wait a minute. If we do this, this could happen or that could happen. And he thinks, and you hear him, Caleb, you can't do that because if you do this, you'll do, and this will happen. And Caleb's like, so what? Let's go for it. And Luke just sits back and Caleb does it. And exactly what Luke said was going to happen happens. And I'm like, I don't want to do this. I watched Zach and Tyler do this. And I'm going to go around 2. I'm good. So I got to figure that. But Luke probably, Luke, he'll be on something good. Caleb will be good too. It's just, it might be a little bit of a harder road.
Well, I think it's when he gets out on parole, he'll probably like really hit the straight and narrow. Because that ankle monitor, he's going to spend a lot of time with.
Could you please not speak that over much? We were actually talking about ankle monitors the other day. They have informed me that they informed me that you can't get them.
I'm speaking this over your children, and you're having the conversations about which one's the best option.
No, Caleb was like, they can't get their ankle monitors wet, and some of them talk. I'm like, I actually didn't know that. They do. If you go out of the perimeter, the parole or probation officer can talk to you through it.
Luke showed me a video that they of the Sprite challenge. Jesse did the Sprite challenge with them, and I told Luke, I said Aunt Leah would die.
Oh, Luke wanted to send it to Aunt Leah. Actually,
were you able to do it?
It didn't. I think
they have to do the Sprite challenge without burping. Well, Jessica,
the whole Sprite.
Yeah, you have to try the Sprite.
Jessica burps the loudest I've ever heard. It is like worse than a man.
Every time I burp, I say it's the gas from the surgery. And Kitty's like, the surgery was in November. I'm pretty sure all the gas is out. I'm like, nope, it's not.
Just to set the stage, I absolutely hate burping. Hate it. I don't, even if it's under your breath. I hate burping. It's one of my biggest pet peeves. Jessica and her children think it's funny to come up to me and burp in my face. And I actually told them,
that is not true.
Last time I was like, I will go home.
I don't think it's funny. I don't burp. I just can't help it. I am a gassy gal. I can't help it. I burp all the time. I burped the whole time on this stinking podcast today. I've been burping. I can't help it. I had a sody from Costco, and I'm just over here, just one big gas ball. Anyways, they did say, let's send this to Aunt Leah. I'm like, no, but I think I did it wrong because I think you're supposed to just chug it without any air getting in because my burps weren't bad. They were mediocre, quite honestly. And if you give me a beer or a Diet Pepsi, I mean, those burps they're great. Wasn't so great with the Sprite. Plus, I was a little upset because it didn't quite work out well and it was a bunch of wasted calories because I chugged the whole thing and it wasn't a diet one.
Oh.
I know. But yeah, it wasn't great. They didn't burp. They didn't burp at all. It wasn't like the memes and all the videos you see.
That's really disappointing.
Yeah. We could do it again, Steener, when you come up with the McKenna and the kids. Have all of us do it.
Okay. I'm down.
I'll get you a diet one. I'll get a diet one too.
How much?
Huh?
We'll talk when we get there. We'll figure out the logistics.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I would say that this was a pretty entertaining podcast. Another one of dogging on Jessica and her family. So if anybody's keeping track, I think that would be 4 episodes of that happening. But anyways, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.